Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away, there was a war. A dirty, nasty, stanky war. The kind of war that makes you hate your brothers. The kind of war that will pit you against your dearest friends. Why this war had started, no one really knew. All they knew was it was never ending. Young men went and fought for whoever they thought they should fight for. Many were victorious, and many ended up dead. That's just the way it worked. No one really won. But then, there was Gregory. Gregory was an archer in His Majesty's army. The only problem with Gregory was he was probably the worst shot ever known to man. He could not hit anything. And really was no benefit to his army whatsoever. The only thing he was in charge of was making sure the dead were dead. But it wasn't always like this. You see, his father, George, was a great warrior, fighting men with his deadly axe. He decided one day that he was going to win the war single-handedly. And so, in the streets of Palakapuka, he went and fought. And then, things took a turn for the worst. With his axe in hand, he stormed the enemy camp, and his brothers by his side. He fought back the evil, fought back the enemy, until the day would be won. Suddenly, George was betrayed by the traitor known as Poo-Poo Head. He left behind a son who sought revenge thereafter. And so, on a quest for vengeance, Gregory enlisted. And he ended up here. Now in the army, he was less than perfect. But he didn't stop there. He went to every battle, making sure he could find his father's killer. The man was so bad at shooting that he even shot one of the high generals in the middle of a battle. Oh, Gregory. But then, one night, while storming one of the castles, he found a stray soldier and shot him, dead in the back. A kill. Gregory's first kill! He was excited. In fact, he saved the life of a knight, who will come into play later. Gregory took position on the high wall. There, he'd be able to see every enemy that came in, and he'd be able to provide good cover for his foot soldiers. Again, he's a terrible shot, so really, the only person he's covering is no one. As he scours the crowd, he looks around, making sure that all of his men are covered. He signals to his friends that there are more archers nearby. He tries to kill them, but he can't. Gregory noticed something that very moment. It was him. Poo-Poo Head had arrived. With sword in hand, he leaps. He leaps from the balcony, running full sprint to take vengeance upon his father's killer. Cutting down the guards. He was pretty good with a sword. He was just terrible with a bow. But, he just really liked the bow. I don't know. Anyway, as he comes to kill him, he gets knocked unconscious. The next morning, he finds himself in the enemy camp, captured. Now, the good news for him is that his army was right on their tail, and so they've come to free their soldiers and to rescue him from bitter death. Gregory was in no rush to escape, because he knew his father's killer was in this camp, and he would not leave until he took vengeance upon him. And he actually killed somebody. That was pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Good work, Gregory. Did I call you Jeffrey earlier? I don't know. Anyway, he looked, scanned the crowd, but to no avail. Poo-Poo Head was nowhere to be seen. But that didn't stop Gregory. He would not give up. He must find him. Just as Gregory was about to give up hope, he saw his father's killer coming for him. To finish the job, he drew his arrow back, he lined up his shot, and then he took it. Shot him right in the chest. His father was avenged. And the battle was won by Gregory's army. Today was a day of glory and victory. And no one forgot that day. Gregory the Archer was recorded in all the history books and was told to everyone. And then he got his arm chopped off. The tale